What's going on YouTube? It's Ben, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to get famous on LinkedIn. Alright guys, so by request specifically, somebody asked me exactly what I meant by creating SEO for your LinkedIn profile. And so I wanted to do a video specifically on SEO for your LinkedIn profile. Alright, so number one on the list of LinkedIn SEO tips to make yourself famous on LinkedIn is going to be connect with people in your niche. So if you're in recruitment and you're trying to be in sales recruitment and that's your niche, you want to be targeting sales managers, sales directors, VPs of sales, C-suite people. Any one of those type of titles is going to be your target market in your industry that you're targeting, because there's a billion industries for sales. So what I would highly recommend is that you go through and you actually find people that you want to specifically connect with and connect with them first before just accepting anybody willy-nilly. Obviously, I have recommended in my previous video that you connect with a ton of people. You should have 10,000 plus connections. I really believe that. LinkedIn's algorithm, Big Brother, knows everything. It knows exactly who you're talking to, it knows what you do, it knows what the other people do, and it knows how to match make, okay? So when it knows how to do that, it puts you in front of those people, and it also puts those people in front of you. Therefore, you should be connecting with niche, specific people. All right, so this second one for becoming famous on LinkedIn is super random, but it's super effective. So when you take your headshot and you put it up on LinkedIn, name the file of your headshot something relevant to exactly what you want people to know you for on LinkedIn. So put your full name in there, put you're a recruiter, put sales recruiter, sales director, VP of sales, put whatever it is that you want to be known for or searched for or found for on LinkedIn. And here's why. Because again, LinkedIn's algorithm crawls everything. So it's going to crawl your file names, everything you put up on LinkedIn. So when you upload that photograph, make sure you title it, rename it. Oddly enough, the exact same thing goes for your background cover photo. So a lot of people just leave this blank. Don't do that. Use this real estate. Find a really cool picture that represents you or what you're into or your market or whatever, and also name that file before you upload it to your LinkedIn profile. So I know I totally covered this one yesterday, but I want to dive deeper into the SEO portion of it. This is about your headline. So your headline needs to be not your job title, okay? Nobody should put their job title as their headline on LinkedIn. You should put things that you do, how you help people, things that you're involved in, what some of your aspirations or your experiences are. That's what your headline is there for. And your headline has a lot of real estate. So for me personally, on my LinkedIn headline, I have founder of Seattle Search Solutions, I have talent advisor, and I also have recruiting consultant on there. And all of those keywords mean things to me. And specifically, they're set up there so that people can find me when they're looking for those terms, when they're looking for people like that. I'm going to be shown to those people. Little bit of a pro tip. When you're editing your LinkedIn profile, and specifically your headline on a desktop or a laptop, you're limited to 120 characters for your headline. However, when you utilize your mobile device, you're able to use an extra 90 characters. And that real estate is super going to help you out because you can just add more verbiage to your headline. Next up is your About section on your LinkedIn profile. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, and we touched on what not to do for SEO purposes. Don't tell your life story. Don't just give a boring summary about yourself, and don't just give a random blurb about anything and everything that you do at your 9-to-5 job. It should be viewer-centric. So whoever you want to connect with, your target audience, the people that you want to engage on LinkedIn. Like I said, I doubled my engagement by changing up my About section. And you want to do this by inserting specific and strategic keywords. The LinkedIn algorithm, again, is going to make them attract straight to your profile if and only if you've inserted the right keywords. Sales, director of sales, VP, founder, etc., etc. Things that are specific to the people that you want to connect with on LinkedIn. 2,000 characters to work with in your About section, and it's not real estate you want to waste. You don't want to tell a story, you don't want to make a sales pitch, you don't want to make it boring, but you do want to explain what you do, things about your past, a little bit about your experience, and how you can help people, right? But don't sell them. And also, be sure to include your contact information in there. It's just the right thing to do at the end of your About section so that people can read about you, and then if they want to stop right then and there, they can connect with you from there. One of the most important pieces of your LinkedIn profile is your experience section. This is where you list off all of your jobs, the titles you've had, and what you've done at those jobs. Here's where everybody gets it wrong, SEO-wise. You just simply list the title of your job, when you worked there, then you move on to the next and do the same for all 5 of your random jobs that you've held in the past. That's wrong. What you need to do is you need to emphasize specific, strategic title verbiage, okay? So if you were the director of sales at a company, you need to say senior director of sales plus sales enablement at whatever company. Below that, you need to extrapolate, okay? So LinkedIn gives you this ability to, below your title, explain what you did. There's a ton of real estate there. You can explain all sorts of metrics, all sorts of initiatives that you've done, all sorts of accomplishments, everything that you did at that particular company, and you can write that all out in a very strategic manner for SEO purposes. And again, you have to put some forward thinking into this because you have to look at yourself in a way that other people are going to be viewing you, right? So it's a third-party perspective. You kind of have to look at it as, how do I want to be seen? How do I think I want people to find me? And then from there, reverse engineer what you want on your profile. So in your experience section, you're going to want to do this for every single one of your jobs. Now this one, not a lot of people know about, but it's super, super cool. Customize your LinkedIn URL. So my LinkedIn URL is literally linkedin.com/Benjamin Nader. You can find me at that URL. About section, your privacy settings, and you change basically your URL where people can find you. So rather than having like a string of numbers and characters, people can actually find you by your name, which is super important because if somebody knows who you are and they just want to search for you and type you in, you're going to come in right at the top of the list when they make that search. Anybody ever heard of recommendations? Yeah, these are super, super important. I think I have about 15 recommendations or more, actually, and every single one of them is a super huge value add. Why? Because all of the recommendations include verbiage and words that basically speak to exactly what I do, and they sing my praises, and that I couldn't be more grateful for. But more than anything, they say exactly what I do. They talk about recruiting, recruitment training, they talk about my recruiting agency, everything about staffing, and all the things that I'm involved in. So basically, if anyone wants to find me, there's a ton of real estate in my recommendations that not only just says how cool Ben is, but it also talks about all the things that I actually do. Make sure that you get a ton of recommendations on your profile. And you can do this super easily. Just connect with a bunch of people that you know very well and that you may or may not have worked with at other companies or worked with directly, and it'll ask you who you've worked with and what capacity you've worked with them in, and it'll have them give you a recommendation. And it's the best thing ever. It's super awesome. You can then give them a recommendation and everybody's happy all around. Kumbaya. So the last item I want to mention to make yourself famous on LinkedIn is to post, and post some more. Use relevant hashtags. So you see all of these crazy famous people on LinkedIn. They're not really famous people. They're just people that get a ton of attention on LinkedIn. But they've got like 50,000 likes, 100,000 shares of their posts. Here's the reason. They use relevant hashtags. They've connected with the right people. They've named their headshot. They've named their cover photo. They post frequently. They post in niche specific ways. They do all of these things at once and they do it correctly and they get super, super known and essentially famous on LinkedIn. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit that alert button so you know every single time I come out with a new video, which is pretty much every single day. So I will be catching you guys tomorrow. Take care.